So let's go ahead and start working on this volume and this seek function. The first thing I want to do is add the icons to this volume. So head into the text editor. Let's go to the icon component. And we already have them here. I just had them commented out. But there's the volume up, and this is the volume mute icon. So now in our dashboard, if we go up to where the input for the music is, we can now put those in. So icon, its name is going to be volume up, and then we're going to grab these classes because they're the same. And then we're going to copy paste, and we're also going to do this one for the max. Actually, no, this one should be mute. Let me double check these. Volume mute and volume up. Okay, so volume mute, volume up. And for this ID for volume, we don't need this, but we do need B model equals volume. Okay, so we need this property down in our data section. Under index, we can put volume. We'll say volume equals 20. So let's take a look and see what that actually does. Refresh. Okay, and now you can see this bar is now set at 20, which would be about 20%. But the only problem is if we play this now, and then we try to adjust the volume, it's not quite hooked up to the volume just yet, to the audio player. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. At this point, we need to target that audio element. So here we're going to say this audio volume equals this volume divided by 100. And that's just going to ensure that the numbers just kind of stay within the percentage of whatever this volume is, because it goes up to 100. The other thing we need to do is we need to trigger an action. On this input, this volume input, we are going to put at input equals, and the function, the method we'll call is update volume. So let's go ahead and create that function now. Get right down to the bottom. Let's go ahead and shrink these down for now since we're not going to be needing them. And then the function will be update volume. And then in here we'll say this audio volume equals this volume divided by 100. Let's take a look and see what that does. Go back to the browser, refresh, and then we go ahead and hit play. Okay. Now you hear the volume is a lot lower. Then you can raise it and lower it, and now this input is now attached to our audio element. Fantastic. So now let's go ahead and get the mute and the max volume buttons working. Pause that. And then let's head back up to that input. And so now on the buttons for the mute, we'll create a function. We'll say click at click equals mute. And for this one, at click equals max. So now we can head down and create those functions. Mute and max. So for our mute function, now we can do this volume equals 0 since it's linked. This audio volume equals 0. And then we can just do the reverse for max. So this volume will be now 100, and the audio volume will be this volume divided by 100. So let's check and make sure that those work. Go back, refresh. Okay, so if we go ahead and click play, music's playing, we click max, volume goes all the way up to the top. And if we click mute, it goes down to 0. Fantastic. So now let's just pause this real quick. One thing we need to add to these buttons is it needs to have a pointer like this one does. And the other thing is we need to change the color so that if we are on mute, then this remains blue. And if we are at max, then this remains blue. So let's go ahead and work on that. So the first thing that I would want to do is create some properties. Under volume, we can put is muted, and we're going to set that to false. Then is maxed. We're also going to set that to false because we are starting at 20, so we're neither muted nor maxed. So let's head up to the input. And now for the mute, we need to add cursor pointer. And then we also need to bind a class depending on the state. So class equals, if it is muted, give it some spacing. Then we'll have text blue 600, or else we'll just leave it empty. Now for the max, we can do the same thing. So we'll add cursor pointer. Let's just grab this one and copy it. Paste. And then this one is going to be is maxed. And then on our mute now, we can do it before all this. So we'll say this is muted equals true. This is maxed equals false. And for the max, we'll say this is maxed equals true. And this is muted equals true. Or sorry, this is maxed equals true, and this is muted equals false. So let's head over to the browser and see what that looks like now. Okay, so now if we hit the max button, it is now highlighted, and if we hit the muted button, now muted. Now the problem here is that if we go to slide it, then this is still muted and this is still, it's whatever it's set. So we need to also attach those properties to that input, that change. Up on the volume, the update volume, we need to make sure that every time we're updating, we want to set this is muted equals false. So whenever we move it up or we move it down, is muted is false until we say that it is muted. So now down here, we can do if this volume is greater than or equal to 100, this is maxed equals true. This is muted equals false. And the rest of it will say else if this volume is less than or equal to 0. This is maxed equals false. And this is muted equals true. So now let's head to the browser and see that that works. Refresh. And now if we grab the slider, bring it all the way to the end, we have our max. Bring it all the way to the other end, we have our muted. As we slide across, okay, the muted is no longer there. And that's good to go. So let's just test it with playing. Okay, turn the volume up. Turn it all the way down. Fantastic. So our volume is now good. Let's pause that. Back to the text editor. Now, as I said in the preview episode that we did, and I showed you guys the seek function, it is a real tricky thing to get working. Not so much to get it working, but to get it working across browsers. So I'm going to set it up anyway. And you guys, if you can figure out a way to use it cross-browser, great. For now, this works in anything really Chromium. Well, that's not true. It doesn't work for anything that's really Chromium. It only really works for Firefox. That's the only thing that I've been able to get it to work properly for, meaning you can click any portion of the seek bar and you'll get the you'll get to where that song is at that point. But I'm going to show you how to do it so that across browser, what does work is that when it plays, it will slide across from left to right all the way to the end of the song. This is just hard-coded. We're going to deal with this in two parts. So the first is to get the seek bar working, and then we'll work on the time. So with that being said, what we can do here is for the progress bar, we are going to V-model it to the audio current time. The reason we're doing that is the audio element that we are using has current time as one of its properties that come with it, so we just need to be able to access it. So let's go ahead and head down a bit, and we are going to set a property called progress bar. Okay, and it's going to be an object. In the mounted lifecycle hook, we are going to say this progress bar equals, and then we're going to target the document query selector, and the ID that we're aiming for is progress bar. Okay, and then the progress bar value, we are going to set to 0. Now that when we go to the browser and we take a look, this should now be set all the way to the left. So let's go ahead and refresh that. Okay, and now you can see we have set it to 0. So the next thing we need to do is create the functions that come with the audio element. So for the mounted lifecycle hook, we are going to call this init progress so that it loads when the page first loads. So we can shrink this update volume, mute, max. We don't need those right now. And then for that init progress method, we're going to add this audio, add event listener, and the listener that comes with the audio element is loaded metadata. And again, the links to these will be down in the description so that you can take a look and see what they're all about. Okay, and then we're going to create a function. And in this function, we're going to set this current duration, which we haven't set yet, equals this audio duration. Now, duration is part of the audio element, and so is current time. So now let's also go ahead and set current duration. We'll just say that's 0, and current time, that's also 0. Now under here, we'll say this progress bar max equals this current duration. So now the other function that we have is called time update. That's the other property that we can get from this audio element. So under this audio event listener here, we're going to say this audio add event listener. This one is going to be called time update. And then we're going to pass in another function. This one will be another method that we'll make in a second, and we'll call it update progress. And in this update progress, we're passing in this audio current time. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that update progress method, and we'll say update progress. And now we'll change this progress bar value equals time. We need to pass in the time, and this time is coming in from this audio current time. So let's head to the browser, we'll refresh it, and we'll see if we broke anything. Okay, so now when we press play, this progress bar should hopefully slide across. And if we take a look, the progress bar value, this should be a capital B. So hopefully that's the only thing wrong. Let's go back, refresh, and try it again. Okay, so now we'll press play. And this should be progress. Doesn't look right, but yeah, I think that's fine. So now let's go try it again, refresh. Let's go ahead and press play. Okay. See, it's moving. My computer is a little slow, so it's stalling a bit, but you can see without me touching it, it does move. See? Okay, fantastic. So now let's go ahead and work on these hard-coded times. So let's pause this, go back to the text editor. And now if we come up to where we hard-coded it, here for this 0:00, we're going to put current time text. And for this one, we're going to have current duration text. Okay, come down to the data properties and add those. So here, current time text will be string of 00, copy paste, and this will be current duration text. So now let's go adjust those properties. So if we head down to that init progress function, under the current duration, we're going to say let secs equals, we're going to open up some backticks, and then we're going to add a $sign, and then we're going to use JavaScript's parse int. We're going to have some more backticks, another $sign, curly brackets, and then we're going to say this current duration, remember because we're setting it from the audio duration here, modulus 60, and the next parameter we're going to have is 10. And then we're also going to add a pad start of 2. Now this is a lot of JavaScripty stuff that I am not explaining completely, but basically we are just breaking down the actual time formats, because when we do get them from the loaded metadata listener, they are coming in seconds, so we need to convert them into seconds and minutes, and that's essentially what we are doing here. So now we'll just copy and paste this one, and then we'll do the minutes. And for here, we don't need, well, actually, let me just do it from scratch. So parse int, then we do backticks, then we do $sign, curly brackets, and then we'll do parentheses. And we'll say this current duration divided by 60. Just outside of the parentheses, we're going to have another modulus, and we're going to say 60. Let me open this up so you can see it better. Okay, and the next parameter we're going to add is 10, and that should be good. So now, here we'll set the this current duration text equals, open up some backticks, $sign, mins, and then we need our colon. Let me put that next to it. And then $sign secs. I must have deleted my progress bar. So the progress bar max equals this current duration. Okay, now if you're wondering why we didn't do pad start 2 and 0 for the mins, it's because this pad start is basically just making sure that there's a 0. If there are 2 integers, it's going to make sure that if it's 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, all the way up to 10, it's going to make sure that it has a 0 in front of whatever that first number is, so that it's not like 4 minutes and 9 or just some random number. It's going to make sure that it has the appropriate zeros in front of the integer. Okay, so that's why we don't have it for min, we only have it for the seconds. Okay, so now that we've done the current duration text, we also need to set the current time text. So we're going to do something similar. Actually, we can even copy this and put it under here. Slide this over. So instead of current duration here, since we're passing in time, we can just use time. And the same thing for this one. It'll be time divided by 60, modulus 60, 10, and then current time text equals minutes and seconds. Fantastic. Okay, let's give this a try and see if we got this up and running. Go back, refresh. Okay, cool. So this looks about right. It's a 4-minute song, and we're starting at 0. Let's try to press play. Okay, so now our timer's going, our seek bar is moving along, and this is our total. Okay, so even if we go to another song, we'll get the new time. Okay, and it will go ahead and play the next one as well. Now, as I said, the seek bar, it only really works in Firefox when you want to seek through the actual bar. So I am going to leave it, as I said, I'm going to leave it up here as it stands because it does work. It does slide across. It does follow the duration of the song. And for all intents and purposes, the timers work and everything is good in that sense. At some point, I will come back and try to, when I learn a little bit more about this audio element, I'm going to come back and adjust these. I know that you can change the stylings so that they're consistent throughout each browser, but that's just a lot of work. So I'm just leaving the styling the way it is for right now. And also for the seek, if I ever do figure out how to get this to work in Chrome, I will absolutely come back and show how to do that. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to make sure to push all of this code up to GitHub, as well as the links to the JavaScript stuff down in the description below. In the next episode, we'll be working on this add new song feature and add that to our project, and then we'll be pretty much done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.